I'm Hawkeye, and today I'm gonna talk to you about a spoiler review on Hunter Killer. I've just been back from the cinema, and it was a pretty good show actually. Basically, it's a submarine thriller action movie starring Gerard Butler and Gary Oldman. Now, I'll go straight with the spoiler and show you what the storyline I saw and what excited me about the movie. Uh, Basically, the movie starts off with the engagement and the sinking of two nuclear submarines, one US and one Russian. It's more or less looking like the Hunt of Red October style of submarine seeking another submarine, sinking it down. Now, upon the engagement and that the US submarine was sunk, um, Captain Glass, which is Gerard Butler, was assigned to the USS Arkansas to investigate the sinking. And he sets up the crew, gathers the crew, and basically sets out to the locations where the submarines was last seen. And upon investigation, Glass found out that the Russian submarine was actually sunk by from an internal explosion, not from a torpedo, and hence he went on a rescue mission as he found out that the Russian sub had still survivors in them, and so for intelligence purposes, um, he went on a rescue mission to save the Russian Russian captain from the sub, and obviously there was objections from the crew, especially from his XO, and they felt it was quite treasonous to actually save the Russian submarine or have crew members. Um, as usual, Captain Glass and ignored that and took a risk and managed to save the Russian captain. Meanwhile, a special forces team has been called to gather intelligence on a Russian naval base hosting the Russian president. The Russian defense minister threw a coup and holds the president in the Russian base. Now, based on the intel that a coup is underway, the US decides to rescue the Russian president. Glass and the special forces teams were then called to execute the rescue. Glass navigates through a minefield in order to reach the base with the help of a Russian sub captain, which he saved earlier. And obviously, there was drama, and this was quite exciting, in which the USS Arkansas went through the minefield, and there were several exciting bits where the help of the Russian captain was useful, in which there seemed to be no path forward, and the Russian captain actually guided them through a cave system, which was not really detectable by the sonar of the US submarine. Well, in the end, they managed to find the cave entrance and actually pass through the minefield quite safely. In the meantime, the special forces infiltrates the base and rescues the president, delivers the president to the USS Arkansas, and upon reaching safely onto the Arkansas, a destroyer was sent earlier uh, uh, due to the escape of the president to sink the Arkansas. the Russian destroyer was then uh, intercepted the USS Arkansas, and they had a quite exciting submarine tussle, and but the USS Arkansas was quite heavily damaged and couldn't really shoot its torpedoes, and hence they were actually outmatched by the destroyer. Um, Glass had to later ask the Russian captain to plead with the destroyer to hold fire as the Arkansas surfaces. Um, Glass had made discussions with and found out intel from the Russian captain that most of the crew members of this destroyer were from or were trained by the Russian captain, and hence, there was a slight chance of loyalty there, that a truce could be made, because really the Arkansas was in terrible trouble, quite heavily damaged, and couldn't respond with her torpedoes. The Arkansas later surfaced in front of the Russian destroyer, and a ceasefire was respected, and the captain of the destroyer was observant of this ceasefire, and told the defense minister then, which was holding the coup, then questioned the destroyer Russian captain, why didn't you fire on and destroy the USS Arkansas, and in which the destroyer captain actually said that he was unable to, because the crew was loyal to the old captain and he couldn't fire upon the US nuclear submarine. The defense minister then says, well, I'll take it into my own hands and send missiles to destroy the Arkansas from the Russian base itself. And here's the big spoiler here. As you know, the submarine doesn't have much anti-missile capability, and so it was quite vulnerable to the surface-to-surface missiles that were sent by the Russian base. And at the last minute, the Russian destroyer actually saved the Arkansas at the last second with its anti-missile batteries, thereby averting World War III. Later on, once the Arkansas was out of danger, the destroyer replied with its surface-to-surface missile and killed the defense minister's base. And so that's the end of the story, and it was quite exciting in the end. In conclusion, it was a good action thriller. Good CGI, good overall performance by Butler. He's quite good in these previous films, like Olympus Has Fallen and so on and so forth. But Gary Oldman's role was actually quite disappointing, because he had a relatively minor and uninteresting role. And so I was quite disappointed in that end, but it was quite a fun movie in the end. My verdict is, I think it's quite a good, fun, and watchable movie, and I'll give it a 7 upon 10 for this movie, and hope you would watch it when you get a chance to go to cinema. Well, please like and subscribe to the channel for future reviews and videos. This is Hawkeye signing out.